American football is one of the most physically intense sports in the world, where speed and power combine to create moments that can change games instantly. What makes a hit dangerous isn't just the contact, it's the speed, the angle, and the force being transferred in a split second. Many of the biggest hits in football history happen when a receiver crosses the middle, right into a defender's path. Players like Sean Taylor were known for perfectly timed hits, legal, powerful, and capable of completely stopping a play instantly. One of the most dangerous types of hits, helmet-to-helmet contact, which is now heavily penalized due to serious injury risks. To reduce injuries, the NFL introduced strict rules, making certain types of hits illegal, even if they look powerful. Brian Dawkins brought intensity and precision. His hits were not just powerful, but perfectly controlled and strategic. The most dangerous hits are often the ones players never see coming. Blindside impacts that leave no time to react. At NFL speeds, players can collide with forces comparable to car crashes, making every hit potentially dangerous. And this is just the beginning, because some of the biggest hits in football history are even more shocking than you expect. This is where some of the most dangerous hits happen, when a receiver focuses on the ball, completely unaware of the defender closing in. Hits like these became legendary, not because they were reckless, but because they were perfectly timed and completely legal. When two players collide at NFL speed, the force can exceed thousands of pounds, turning a single hit into a powerful physical event. Brian Dawkins was known for bringing unmatched intensity. His hits weren't just physical, they changed the energy of the entire game. Blindside hits are among the most dangerous, because the player has no time to prepare or absorb the impact safely. Today, helmet-to-helmet contact is strictly penalized. As studies showed, these hits can cause serious long-term injuries. At top speed, players can reach forces comparable to car crashes, making every collision a serious physical event. Linebackers are often responsible for some of the hardest hits, meeting runners head-on with full force. Sometimes one hit leads to another, creating a chain reaction that makes the situation even more dangerous. And these are just a few examples, because some of the biggest hits in football history are still yet to come. This type of play is where football becomes dangerous, when a receiver focuses on the ball, leaving himself completely exposed to impact. Ronnie Lott was known for fearless tackles, delivering powerful hits that were perfectly timed and within the rules of the game. In football, timing is everything. Even a fraction of a second can turn a routine tackle into a massive hit. Some of the hardest hits aren't accidental, they are designed, with defenders positioning themselves to stop momentum completely. Speed can be just as dangerous as power. Players like Deion Sanders used acceleration to deliver unexpected impact. When multiple players collide at once, the impact multiplies, turning a single tackle into a dangerous chain reaction. Not all hits are equal. Low tackles are safer, while high-speed upper-body collisions carry far greater risk. Linebackers often deliver the hardest hits, meeting runners head-on with maximum force and no hesitation. Even when players get back up, the impact can linger, affecting balance, reaction, and performance for the rest of the game. And what you've seen so far is just the beginning, because the biggest hits in football history are even more intense. This is the setup for a classic NFL hit. Speed, timing, and positioning all coming together in a single decisive moment. Troy Polamalu was known for instinct, reading plays faster than anyone, and arriving at the perfect moment to deliver impact. At this speed, impact is not just contact, it's physics in motion, where force and momentum collide instantly. The difference between a legal and illegal hit can be just inches, but those inches can mean safety or serious injury. This is the kind of hit that defines football. Two players meeting head-on with full commitment and maximum force. The hit doesn't end at contact. The ground impact can be just as powerful, sometimes even more dangerous. When multiple players join the tackle, the impact multiplies, creating unpredictable and often more dangerous outcomes. Even when players recover quickly, The body absorbs the impact, and the effects can last far beyond the moment. Big hits don't just affect the body, they can change how a player thinks, reacts, and plays the rest of the game. And what you've seen so far is just the build-up, because the most brutal hits in football history are still ahead. This is the kind of play that creates the most brutal hits, when speed, focus, and timing collide in a single moment. Kam Chancellor's hits were legendary, clean, powerful, and capable of stopping even the strongest players instantly. When unstoppable force meets unstoppable force, the result is one of the most powerful collisions in sports. The second impact, when the body hits the ground, can often be even more dangerous than the initial hit. Blindside hits are the most brutal, because the player never sees them coming and has no chance to prepare. At NFL speeds, players collide with forces similar to high-speed crashes, making every hit a serious physical event. When multiple players join a tackle, the force multiplies, creating unpredictable and extremely dangerous situations. Even when players get back up, the body absorbs the impact, and the damage isn't always immediately visible. A single brutal hit can change how a player approaches the game, affecting confidence, timing, and decision-making. And what comes next are some of the most shocking hits ever seen in football history. Quarterbacks are at their most vulnerable right after releasing the ball, when their focus is forward and danger comes from behind. Even a legal hit can look brutal when it comes at full speed. Who isn't braced for contact? Some hits exist in a grey area, where a fraction of an inch can turn a legal play into a penalty. Modern football relies heavily on officiating, because player safety depends on enforcing the smallest details. Hits on defenseless receivers are now strictly monitored, as players have little control over their bodies during catches. Over time, the NFL has changed its rules to reduce these hits, balancing physicality with long-term player safety. Edge rushers create some of the most shocking hits, using speed and angles to reach quarterbacks before they can react. A perfectly timed hit can change everything, turning a simple play into a turnover in an instant. These moments don't just impact the players, they send shockwaves through the entire stadium. And what comes next are the biggest, most unforgettable hits in football history. This is where the biggest hits are created, when speed, timing, and exposure all come together in a single moment. Ray Lewis defined physical dominance. His hits weren't just tackles, they were statements of power and control. At this level, collisions aren't just hits, they are moments where physics and human strength collide at full force. The most shocking hits are often the ones players never see coming, leaving no time to prepare. One hit can change everything, turning control into chaos in just a fraction of a second. These moments don't just impact players, they create unforgettable reactions across the entire stadium. When multiple players collide at once, the intensity multiplies, making the moment even more dangerous and unpredictable. Even when players recover, the body absorbs every impact, some effects lasting far beyond the play itself. Big hits don't just affect the body, they change how players think, react, and approach every next play. These moments become part of football history, defining players, teams, and unforgettable games. From past to present, these hits remind us how intense and powerful the game truly is. The game has evolved, but the intensity, the speed, and the impact remain at its core. These moments inspire the next generation, players who dream of reaching the same level one day. In football, every hit tells a story of power, precision, and the pursuit of greatness. These are the biggest hits ever in football, moments that show just how powerful and intense this game truly is.